Created in the 1960s to celebrate Expo 67, the 100th anniversary of Canada's independence from Great Britain, the Ile Notre Dame in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, sits in the middle of the St. Lawrence River and is completely man-made. Created out of about 15 million tons of rock, the 67-acre island was home to several pavilions for the expo, which afterwards were either demolished or turned into other establishments. One's now a casino, actually. If you're not in the mood for gambling, of course, you could go walking or running on the nearby trails, go snowshoeing, inline skating. There's a lot of fun stuff to do here. But of course, you're not here for that. You're here for the race cars, and that's what I've got. Racing began at the Circuit Ile Notre Dame in 1978, as organizers were looking for a safer track than the Mosport International Raceway to hold the Canadian Grand Prix at. With the exception of 2009, it's been here ever since. There was no GP in 2009. The track was renamed Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in honor of Gilles Villeneuve, the hometown hero who was killed in 1982. And it's been a pretty solid track, one of the better ones on the Formula One calendar. At about 2.71 miles in length, this track is highlighted by its two hairpin turns, one simply called the hairpin and the other the Virage Senna, along with several S-bends as you navigate down the island. You really have to be careful here to stay out of the wall. The turn 15 wall is actually called the Wall of Champions for that reason. And there's even a chance of going over the wall and into the river, though I don't believe anyone has ever done that. In 2007, the NASCAR Busch Series decided to add another international race to the calendar, as they were running at Mexico City at the time. And they chose Montreal, and what a great choice it was. These guys always put on a show in Montreal. 2007, Kevin Harvick won the first time out. Robbie Gordon ended up doing donuts on the front stretch as sort of a protest. He wasn't too happy over a penalty during the race. NASCAR was not too pleased with him. 2008, the first use of rain tires in a points event, as it was pouring for most of the show. Ron Fellows, the road ringer, brought this one home after the race had to be cut short, as it was getting a little too dangerous. Puddles were forming on the track. 2009 saw the famous duel through the chicane as Marcos Ambrose slipped and Carl Edwards flipped, and 2010 was a race no one wanted to win, seemingly. Max Papis and Boris Said dueled each other to the line, and it ended up going to Said. A very surprising win. NASCAR Canadian Tire Series ran alongside the Nationwide Series the morning of the main event, and they also put on a show. 2007, Kerry Mix dueled Andrew Ranger to the line and won by a fender. 2009, Scott Steckley flipped his car on the last lap after they tried going 4 wide in turn 3. And 2010, Andrew Ranger dumped Jason Bowles, a visiting American, into the turn 15 wall on the last lap. Unfortunately, for 2013, Montreal decided they only wanted one race weekend, and, well, that was the end of that for NASCAR. And it was a real shame, because Jacques Villeneuve almost won the last time out. Of course, HARC isn't bound by that, and they're ready and raring to go. One more time, taken to the streets for the only use of a standing start this year. HARC has run here once in 2016. Annie Thomas brought that one home. We got 4 local drivers who want to be on top of the podium at the end of the day. Pat Smith and Dan Bouchard are both from Ottawa, Ontario. Sylvain Lesavage is from Saguenay, Quebec, and Brian Hart is from Montreal itself. So here we go. Let's hit the road course for the first of 2 instances this season for the HARC Can-Am Series Canada Tour, as we take to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.